What's up guys, I'm Paul and welcome to my channel. So in this video we're going to be looking at one of the most least well-known WordPress e-commerce plugins, WP EasyCart. And it really is not particularly well known because currently there's only just over 6,000 active installs of the WP EasyCart plugin. Compare that to the behemoth of WordPress e-commerce, WooCommerce, which has currently over 5 million active installs. But is there a reason why WP EasyCart isn't particularly popular? Or have we discovered a hidden gem when it comes to WordPress e-commerce? Well, that's what we're going to be looking at in this video. And to find out, we're going to look at the pricing, what you get for your money, and what the plugin is like to use. So let's jump into my computer and get this review started. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is the pricing of the WP EasyCart plugin. And they offer a completely free plugin, which is available directly in the WordPress plugin library, which is pretty awesome. And this comes loaded with all the tools you need to create a product-driven B2C e-commerce website using the WordPress system, which I think is really, really good. But there is one slight drawback, and that is you do need to pay a transaction fee, which is on top of the payment gateway fees. Now, as standard, WP EasyCart comes with 3 payment gateways built in, which is PayPal, Stripe, and Square. But you only need to use either Stripe or Square to process your credit cards. But it's a good selection of payment gateways as standard, but you are going to be charged an additional 2% to the standard payment gateway fee by WP EasyCart. Now, if you decide to move on to one of the paid options, this transaction fee disappears. Now, when it comes to the paid options, there's 2 options you can choose from. There's the Pro plan that is $69 a year and the Premium plan that is $99 a year. And I think this is actually really reasonably priced, especially when you compare WP EasyCart to WooCommerce. Because with the WP EasyCart ones, you get things like 30 plus additional payment gateways. You can also sell things like subscriptions and memberships when you go onto the Pro package, all included for $69 a year. But when you compare that to WooCommerce, a single payment gateway plugin will cost you $79 a year for one additional plugin, let alone if you wanted to add subscriptions and memberships, which I know are quite expensive when you're buying them directly from WooCommerce. So I actually think WP EasyCart is really reasonably priced. And when you go onto the premium package, you actually get access to all their extensions as well, which enables you to sell through things like Facebook and Instagram. You can also add MailChimp integration, and also it integrates with Affiliate WP, which enables you to build your own affiliate program using WP EasyCart and Affiliate WP. So I actually think this is really good. It's really reasonably priced, and you also get a lot for your money, which is what we're going to look at now. So when it comes to features, it is really well loaded out of the gate. Even the free plugin comes with a whole host of features. As I mentioned, there's 3 payment gateways you can choose from that are all included as standard with the free plugin. And when it comes to the kind of things you can sell on the free one, you can sell physical products, you can sell service-based products, you can sell tickets, or you can sell online classes and courses. But if you want to sell things like digital products or subscriptions, you are going to have to go onto the Pro plan, which is $69 a year. But I still think that's really reasonable. Also included with the paid options are B2B tools. You can do things like volume-based pricing. You can do login for pricing as well. Lots of really good tools available on B2B. So if you want to sell to wholesale customers as well, you can do it using this plugin, which is a really good option. And that is definitely something that is quite difficult to do on WooCommerce without investing a lot of money in additional plugins. You also get things like you can sell gift cards, you can create promotions, you can have discount codes, and also abandoned cart emails, but those are only available on the paid options. Marketing tools are very limited on the free plugin, but it's a free plugin. You can't have everything that you need all in one free plugin. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work like that. But when it comes to SEO, you can do things like you can create custom titles and URLs, you have custom meta description, and you can also have meta keywords as well. I don't understand why they've included this, because that is something that's pretty much outdated and obsolete when it comes to SEO now. When it comes to reporting, there's loads of information available. I'll show you that when we jump into the plugin in a minute, but there's lots of data available when it comes to analytics and reports to really enable you to analyze your store and see what kind of decisions you need to make going forward into the future. Lots of good reports. Payment gateways, as I said, there's 3 available, but when you go onto the paid option, you do get another 30 plus additional payment gateways, including things like 2Checkout, Authorize.net, SagePay, and WorldPay. Lots of big names there. The only one I did see was missing was Klarna, which is a bit of a shame, but you never know, they may add that in the future because Klarna is becoming much more popular when it comes to e-commerce payments. There's also lots of shipping options as standard. You can have fixed price, or you can have price-based shipping, or weight-based shipping, quantity-based. Those are some really good options to include as standard. But if you do go onto the paid options, you do get auto-calculated shipping rates from some of the partners that do work with WP EasyCart, including UPS, FedEx, United States Postal Service and DHL, as well as Australia Post and Canada Post. Nothing from the UK, unfortunately, which is a little bit disappointing. I'm just saying that because I live here in the UK. Now, the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to the features that are available is the support options you get. Now, when you're on the free plugin, you don't get any support from the guys at WP EasyCart. All you get access to is their documentation, their videos. They do have some really useful videos. If you're just getting started with WP EasyCart, I'd recommend going and watching some of their videos. Really, really helpful. I found them really helpful anyway. And you also get a support forum where you can go and ask questions. And when you move onto the paid options as well, you do also get email ticket support, and this applies to the whole WP EasyCart plugin. So should you have any problems and you're on a paid package, you can just drop them an email or open a ticket and they'll get back to you and try and resolve that problem as quick as possible, which I think is pretty awesome. Now, before we get on to what WP EasyCart is like to use, I do just have a quick request for you, and that is, if you are finding this video helpful, please drop a like on it, because it does help me out massively with the almighty YouTube algorithm. Also, if you want to go and see my full written review of the WP EasyCart plugin, which does go into a little bit more detail than what I do in this video, I'll leave a link to the full written review on ecommerce gold in the description below. So if you want to learn more about the plugin, go and check out my full written review. Thank you. Let's continue with the video. But what is WP EasyCart like to use? Well, at the moment I am just using the free option, but it's still really, really good. I do like it. Now, getting started with WP EasyCart is very simple. You just need to go to the WordPress plugin library, search WP EasyCart, then install and activate the plugin, the same way you do any other plugin on WordPress. And once you have installed the plugin, there is a short setup guide. Now, unfortunately, I can't show you that because I went through that when I was installing the plugin, but it is actually a pretty good setup guide. It enables you to create a new product or install demo content, which is what I've done on my demo site. You can also set up your region settings, so your currency and things like that. You can then go through and set up your payment gateways, your shipping options, and then it will build a basic store for you, which I think is really good. It's definitely better than the WooCommerce setup guide. But what's it actually like to use when you're in there? Well, once you've gone through the setup guide, this is the dashboard for the WP EasyCart plugin. And I really like this because it's basically a dashboard within your WordPress dashboard. It reminds me in a lot of ways of the way Ecwid works with WordPress, but I do really like it. One of the things you can do is you can change the color if you want to. If you don't like the green, you can change it to any color you want, which is nice. You can customize it to your WordPress site. But this is what I was talking about when it comes to reports and analytics, which are available directly in your homepage. You get lots of reports. You can see how many sales you've made, shipping you've collected, taxes, discounts. You can also set date ranges and do comparisons, so you can see how you're doing month on month. Lots of information available to enable you to make very business-based decisions when it comes to your product line and also marketing as well. Lots of useful information in the reports. Now, it's also really easy to navigate around the dashboard within a dashboard because you've got the sidebar menu in here, and as you can see, certain things are locked, like the marketing options and the registration, because these are only available on the paid options, which I say I haven't got because I'm using the free one. But this is really easy to navigate around because it's the dashboard within a dashboard. You don't keep having to go through different things on your main WordPress dashboard. Talking about that, it only adds 2 options to your main WordPress navigation, which is the main WP EasyCart and the extensions, which is available if you are on the premium option. And another good thing, one thing I haven't mentioned, I need to stop saying another good thing, but one thing I do like with WP EasyCart is you only need one plugin. It's not like when you go with WooCommerce or Easy Digital Downloads and you need to install lots of different plugins and everything to get it working properly. You just need the one plugin. Everything is built into that plugin. I do like that because it makes things like maintenance so much easier, because keeping a WordPress site maintained can be a headache, especially when you've got WooCommerce. So having everything just included in one plugin just makes life so much easier. But when it comes to ease of use, what I'm going to look at is 3 main things. I'm going to look at what it's like to customize the plugin, so how you can use it with your site, what it's like to add and manage your inventory, then order management, because to me those are 3 of the most important things when it comes to using an e-commerce plugin for your WordPress site. So next we're going to look at the customization options with WP EasyCart. Now, one of the great things about WP EasyCart is you don't need a specific theme to use WP EasyCart like you do with WooCommerce or Easy Digital Downloads. This is because WP EasyCart works with pretty much every single WordPress theme, which gives you so much choice when it comes to the look and feel of your website. But one thing I will say is it does depend on the theme you're using as to how WP EasyCart actually displays in the front end of your site. I tried this with the default 2021 theme, and honestly it didn't look all that great, but when I switched to the storefront theme, which is the default WooCommerce theme, it actually displayed really well, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So if we go into the front end of my demo site, we click on store, this is what WP EasyCart looks like in the front end of your store. It displays really well. I think it looks really nice. If you go onto the product pages, it's got a really nice look to it, and I just think it looks really neat, it looks really clean, and it looks really professional in my opinion. Now when it comes to customization options, it's all actually done in the WP EasyCart dashboard, because if you go into customize, there's no options for WP EasyCart in this main menu. It just doesn't appear. So what you need to do is you need to come out of that, go into your WP EasyCart dashboard, settings, and then go down to design. And this gives you all the settings relating to what your site is going to look like on the front end. So how you want it to display, how many columns you want to display, things like quick view if you want hover to happen on your images. There is some really good options. You can also add custom CSS and choose whichever store colors you want for your store. So there are some options available when it comes to customizing your theme. It just needs to be done directly within the WP EasyCart dashboard. Now, another thing that is something that a lot of people are now considering when it comes to e-commerce and WordPress is how well does it integrate with the Gutenberg page builder? And even though it does integrate, it's not particularly great. So if we go into a new post, I'll show you exactly what the block plugin looks like for WP EasyCart. So we'll start typing WP EasyCart, add that, and it works off shortcodes. And what you need to do is you need to select the option you want. So if you want a category standard display, then choose those options, and this will then be able to display in your posts or pages. But one real negative I do have with this is you can't see what it looks like when you're in the editor. You actually have to go into the front end live preview of your site to see how this Gutenberg block displays. So I definitely think there's some room for improvement when it comes to the Gutenberg integration, but it's better than nothing, but I still think there is some improvement. So when it comes to customization, there are some options there, but the great thing is you don't need a specific theme to use WP EasyCart. So let's come out of that editor and let's go and see what it's like to add a new product, because managing your inventory is very important. So for this, what we're going to do is going to add a new product. So we go to products and we click add new. And this pop-up sidebar appears, and this is whenever you go to create a new product. But I actually really like this. It's a kind of quirky feature of WP EasyCart, but it allows you to quickly outline your product. So what we're going to do is set the product status. We're going to choose whether we want it featured on our main store page, what type of product it is. As you can see, certain ones are limited to the Pro and Premium options. You then add your title, so we'll call this demo, add a SKU code. You then select a manufacturer, which will go with e-commerce gold demo, choose a price, select an image if you've got one, and then choose if you want any product variations. You can then create and edit the product, and you go straight into the main editor. You can create and add another one. So if you want to quickly add your main product inventory, you can do by doing this method. And then you can just click create if you just want to create it, but not do anything else. But for this, we're going to go with create and edit. It doesn't like that SKU code, so let's change that to number 3. Create and edit, and then you go into the main product editor. Now this will be quite familiar to anybody using WordPress because it's kind of loosely based on the classic editor. So this is where your title is, your SKU code, your link slug, which is basically the end part of your URL. You choose the manufacturer, you add your main description. Then you go into all the options, and there's lots of options to choose from. There's actually 22 of these drop-down boxes available within WP EasyCart. And for anybody who's brand new to this plugin, this can seem really daunting because there's lots of options available. But once you actually start getting used to it, you'll realize that there's actually lots of options and it is good for you. Even though I would like to see some of these reduced, some of these kind of combined into one so it's not so daunting, especially when you've got things like menu locations, which is a way of organizing your products. Even though WP EasyCart recommends going with categories over the menu locations, if you recommend one over the other and you say it's better to use, why bother including the other one? I just don't get that. But there are things that could be combined, things like packaging options could easily be put into the shipping options. Just certain things could be combined, but as I say, there are lots of different options available, and it is a bit daunting when you're just getting started with the plugin. But overall, it's a pretty good page. I'd just like to see it slimmed down a bit and a few less options, so it's a bit less daunting when you go to add a new product. Now, as I mentioned, when it comes to organizing your products, there's two different ways you can do it. They use a menu system, but I haven't quite figured out how that works yet. But the best way to do it, as WP EasyCart says, is to use the category system, and this works very much off the basic WordPress category layout, so you can create parent categories and child categories for your products. Really easy, really simple to use. But what about when it comes to managing your inventory? So you set all your products up, you need to go in and edit them. Well, I thought this inventory tab was going to be really helpful. Turns out it's actually not that helpful, because all this does is it tells you your stock quantity. You can't actually go in and make edits to your products. It doesn't allow you, which I think is a bit of a letdown and something that could have been really good when it comes to WP EasyCart, but unfortunately it just isn't there. If you want to go and make any changes to your products, you have to go into the products inventory, and then you can click quick edit, and it comes up with this sidebar menu again, which is basically the add new product page. But you can go through and quickly and easily make any changes you need to your product. So even though it is pretty easy to go through and make changes to your inventory, I would like to see a more of a bulk editor rather than having to do this on a product by product basis, because it would just save you so much time. Now, the final thing I'm going to look at when it comes to ease of use is managing your orders, because hopefully that's where you're going to be spending most of your time. And as standard, the order management is really good, because there's so much you can do as standard. And this is something you would definitely need a plugin for if you was using something like WooCommerce. So what you can do is you can do bulk edits, so we can select all the products, and from the drop down menu we can print receipts, we can print packing slips, we can export the orders via CSV. Lots of different options as to what you can do as standard. You can also go in and edit the orders individually, so you have the pop-up menu appear. We'll cancel that one, and if you go into the main edit, you can also choose to print the packing slips, print the receipt, or change parts of your order. Lots of different options when it comes to order management. Very good. I'd just like to see a bit more customization when it comes to your templates, so things like your receipts and your packing slips. Some more customization options would be better with that, but as standard, you can't really complain as to what you get for free. So WP EasyCart, is it a hidden gem or not when it comes to WordPress e-commerce? I definitely think it is, and I definitely am surprised that it's not more popular than what it is, because it is a really good option. This is because you only need one plugin to build an e-commerce store. It's not like with the likes of WooCommerce where you need lots of plugins, you've got lots of moving parts, and things like maintenance can be a serious headache when it comes to WooCommerce. With WP EasyCart, you just need the one plugin and you're good to go. It also comes with a really good selection of features as standard, especially if you just want to build a basic product B2C e-commerce store. You only need the free plugin. Now, I know there is the 2% transaction fee, which is a bit of a downside, but when your store starts generating sales, it'll probably be more cost efficient to actually go for something like the Pro plan, which is $69 a year rather than paying that 2% transaction fee, and then that 2% transaction fee disappears. So this is where I think it's a really compelling option when it comes to WordPress e-commerce. Plus you get support available when you go onto the paid options as well, which is something you don't really get from the likes of WooCommerce. So I do think it is something that should be considered if you're planning on using WordPress for an e-commerce website, because I say it offers a lot out of the box. Now, when it comes to downsides, there's only a few small things I can really pick. I've already mentioned the transaction fee. I'd like to see the Gutenberg block be a little bit better and be able to preview it in the store. And I'd just like some of the options to be stripped out of the add new product page as well. I'd like to see that slimmed down a bit, because it is a bit daunting, especially for new users. But these are pretty minor things and things that you can easily work around. There's no real major downsides to the WP EasyCart platform. For me, from what I've tested, I think it's a really good option when it comes to WordPress e-commerce. So let me know what you think. Do you think WP EasyCart is a good option from what you've seen in this video, or if you've tested it out for yourself? I'm always interested to hear other people's thoughts. So thank you so much for watching, guys. As I mentioned earlier, if you have enjoyed this video and you found it helpful, please drop a like on the video because it does help me out a lot. Also, if you'd like to support the channel, you can do by buying me a coffee using the link in the description below. So once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.